So, how do you make a global music phenomenon from scratch in just a couple of years? It's not just about having talent. It's about having a deliberate, really smart blueprint. Today, that's exactly what we're going to do. Deconstruct the blueprint behind the incredible rise of the group ENHYPEN.
And it all starts right here, with the name, a hyphen. It connects words to make something new. For ENHYPEN, that's their whole philosophy. Connecting with each other, discovering their own potential, and growing right alongside their massive global fan base.
So how did they pull it off? Well, we've broken their strategy down into 5 key parts. We'll start with how they were formed, which was totally revolutionary. Then we'll dive into the dark fantasy universe they built. Look at the insane commercial records they shattered, the global stages they've taken over, and finally, what it all means for the future.
Okay, first things first, the foundation. See, most groups are created in secret, behind the closed doors of a training facility. ENHYPEN's journey? It was the complete opposite. It kicked off on a global stage, with millions of people watching their every single move.
This slide really sums up the game changer here. The traditional ways to polish artists in private for years, the island model just completely flipped that script. By making their creation a live, high-stakes TV show, they built this enormous, emotionally invested audience before a single song even came out. Fans weren't just waiting for a new group, they felt like they were part of the story from day one. And the result of this whole public process was, well, it was kind of genius. A hybrid model. 6 of the members were picked by a massive global vote, which guaranteed they already had a huge fan base. But the 7th member was a producer's choice. This created the perfect balance, a group with undeniable popular appeal that was also fine-tuned by industry experts for the perfect chemistry and skill set.
Okay, so you've got this massive, pre-built fan base. Awesome. What's next? You can't just give them music, you've got to give them a whole world to get lost in. And that brings us to their second pillar, building a dark, narrative universe. And this is where things get really, really cool. ENHYPEN isn't just a band. They're characters in this huge, sprawling story. And this concept of reincarnated vampire knights, it's not just for a cool music video. It is the central plot of the Dark Moon universe, a story that plays out across webtoons, novels, and of course, their music. Get this, each member of the group maps directly to a character in this universe, and each character has their own unique backstory and powers. This creates this incredibly strong link between their real-life personas and the epic story, adding all these extra layers of meaning to every song they sing and every performance they give.
But here's the kicker. This story isn't just some static backstory. It actually evolves with every single album. Each comeback is like a new chapter in their saga, from them waking up as vampires to later becoming fugitives. For fans, it turns listening to a new album into this immersive, interactive experience. You're not just a listener, you're following a plot as it unfolds.
Now, all of this deep, story-driven stuff, it's incredibly powerful. And that power, it translates directly into just staggering commercial success.
Just take a second and look at that number. 20 million albums sold. I mean, this isn't just successful, it's a milestone that puts them in the absolute top tier of the global music industry. And they did it in a ridiculously short amount of time.
And this chart tells the story perfectly. This isn't just steady growth, it's exponential. Just look at the jump from their debut album to their more recent stuff. This isn't just fans buying more albums. It shows how with each new chapter of their story, the audience gets way more invested, and that commercial power just explodes.
And it's not just about selling physical albums either. They've dominated across the board. They're breaking streaming records on platforms like Spotify and consistently landing in the top 10 of the US Billboard charts. This proves their appeal isn't just with a core group of collectors. It's a mainstream global phenomenon.
So, when you have all of this commercial success, there's really only one logical outcome. It fuels this rapid, relentless expansion onto the global stage.
I mean, just look at this timeline. In only a few years, they went from their very first tour to this massive global operation. They leveled up from arenas to stadiums in the US, and now they're selling out huge venues across Europe and breaking into entirely new markets like Australia and the Middle East. The speed of this expansion is honestly almost unheard of.
And this ability to break records extends right into the super competitive world of live touring. Selling out a dome in Japan, which is a notoriously tough market, and doing it faster than any of your peers, that's not just a win. That's a massive statement about their incredible drawing power around the world.
So what makes this whole model sustainable for the future? Well, it's not just one thing. It's the complete self-reinforcing ecosystem they've built around the music. This whole ecosystem is just designed for constant engagement. Their fandom, Engine, is never left hanging. If there isn't new music, there's a new chapter of the lore. If there isn't a tour to go to, there's a ton of behind-the-scenes content that shows a more personal side of the group. Every single part reinforces the others, making sure there's always a new way for fans to connect.
And this right here points to their long-term vision. They're playing the long game. They're evolving from just performers into creators. By taking more direct, creative control of their music, with members getting credited as songwriters and producers, they're basically future-proofing their career. They're making sure their artistic voice stays authentic and continues to grow right along with them.
All of this leaves us with one final big question. Is this blueprint, building a group in the public eye, weaving this deep mythological story across all kinds of platforms, and then using that engagement for explosive global growth, is that the new standard for creating a superstar act in the 21st century? Their story suggests it just might be.